What is up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka What Kind of Snatch You Want, because I got plenty to go around. This is my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail in the video. Make sure you guys please will watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel, and go check out my yesterday's video of my WWE NXT review on highlights, and go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a very good show for what it was. And that's all I gotta say. It says we opened the show with a hot crowd in Philly as commentary welcomes us to what was once the home of the Extreme. They look back at Forbidden Door and what the Death Riders did to Will Ospreay after Lights Out, Steel Cage match. And as we come back to ringside FTR's music hits, Cash Wheeler has some words with a fan that gets bleeped out as the pair and Big Stow heads to the ring and Miz and Cross boos. So AEW was live from AEW was live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Alright, it says FTR tries to address what happened on Sunday during their match, but a combination of tech issues and a loud crowd makes it difficult. Dax talks about a miscarnage of justice taking place at Forbidden Door, addressing the fact they couldn't win the tag titles. Crowd tells him to shut the you know what up, and as Howard press on, claiming the illegal man pinned him. And it's funny because the man he wants to talk to is right here, turning his attention to Paul Turner. He asks Paul Turner how long he been in the business, and we find out he's been a referee for 27 years. Dax says Paul Turner has a wife and family, and his wife is even here. And if he could imagine having to tell his family that he failed because of an incompetent moron. Paul Turner says he cannot. And Dax used this to say that Paul Turner can right this wrong by reversing his decision and naming the FTR the tag team champions. All right, Paul Turner says that unfortunately his decision stands. This riles up Stoke, who calls Paul Turner a moron, saying he wants to appease. He said appease these idiots, but if he wants to do the right thing, he can reverse this decision. He said something else, but that got censored. This leads to a standoff with the referee before Cope music hits. Cope makes it down towards the ring, but looks over his shoulder, and if waiting for Christian Cage, only for the Patriotic to slide into the ring, taking Dax Harwood down with a kill switch. This leads to Cage and Cope going at with FTR, while officials and security rush to break things up. And this is my biggest issue. Why do security guards always come out to break things up? Let Adam Cope and Christian Cage fight FTR. Give these people what they want. Let Adam Copeland and Christian Cage fight against FTR. Enough of this breaking up the fight. Enough of this. So that's one negative thing about it. Just security guards always breaking things up. Give the AEW fans what they want and what they came to see. Let Adam Copeland and Christian Cage fight brawl against FTR. That's all I gotta say. But let me continue. I had to put this out there. As FTR and Stokes start to step away from the ring, Christian Cage grabs a microphone to say that Adam helped him deal with his problem at Forbidden Door. So now he's here to help with Adam Copeland's problem. He starts to go into it about Dax and Cash having fathers before Cope interrupts and lays out the challenge for All Out in Toronto. CNC versus FTR. And Cope will get his pound of flesh. Video package. This was a good segment to kick off the show. Video package. We hear from Darby Allin talking about he struck up Mount Everest and how it got him to thinking about his revenge against the Death Riders after everything they tried to take away from AEW at All Out. He promised to take everything away from Jon Moxley. Speaking of Jon Moxley, he is accompanied by Wheeler Yuta and Maria Shafir as he heads to the ring for our opening match. Out next is Daniel Garcia, and this match gets underway. So all right, so we get the first match. So we get Jon Moxley versus Daniel Garcia. This was a good match between Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia. Chance of you know what if you Wheeler Yuta, and as Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia lock up, Daniel Garcia getting the upper hand on the former world champion. Daniel Garcia gets to his feet and hits the ropes, but is taken down by Jon Moxley with a shoulder tackle. Jon Moxley brings Daniel Garcia to the corner for some mountain punches, only for Daniel Garcia to respond with a dragon screw, catching Jon Moxley on the ropes. Jon Moxley drops to the outside as Daniel Garcia falls, setting him up against the barricade before Jon Moxley fights back, dropping him to the floor before sliding into the ring. The referee begins to count as Wheeler Yuta and Maria Shafir are particularly stalking Daniel Garcia on the outside before Daddy Magic comes out to help even the numbers. They back off as Daniel Garcia gets back into the ring, eventually turning things around on Jon Moxley and forcing him to take a breather on the outside as we go to commercial break on HBO Max. Back from commercial break, Jon Moxley regains control, sending Daniel Garcia into the corner before crawling at his back. He keeps on the attack until Daniel Garcia strikes back with a fury of punches before biting the leg of Jon Moxley and taking him down hard with a superplex. Both men get to their feet before Jon Moxley hits Daniel Garcia with a boot, sending him to the ropes. But Daniel Garcia hits a Nigel style lariat on the former world champion for a 2 count. Jon Moxley catches Daniel Garcia with a cutter, but struggles to capitalize, and this allows Daniel Garcia to catch him with a single leg grab. Jon Moxley crawls towards the ropes, grabbing the bottom one to force a rope break. Jon Moxley lures Daniel Garcia to the outside before landing a DDT onto the ring steps, and Daniel Garcia drops to the floor as Jon Moxley gets back in the ring. Daddy Magic checks on Daniel Garcia, trying to urge him back into the match, as Daniel Garcia slowly stirs while Jon Moxley count goes on. We reach the count of 9 as Daniel Garcia managed to leap into the ring. Jon Moxley goes for a stomp, but Daniel Garcia dodges it, only for Jon Moxley to catch him with a cross armbreaker. Before Daniel Garcia counters into a dragon tamer, Jon Moxley struggles to break free as Daniel Garcia leans back, and this gives Jon Moxley an opening as he goes for a chokehold on Daniel Garcia, but Daniel Garcia breaks free in a clutch to get a near fall. Exchange of pinfall attempts comes to an end when Jon Moxley cradles Daniel Garcia just long enough to pick up the 3. The winner by pinfall, Jon Moxley. This was a good match between Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia. After the match, Wheeler Yuta has a microphone as he tells Darby Allin that Jon Moxley doesn't want to waste his breath answering him. So Wheeler Yuta delivers the message that the answer is no. He leaves the ring as we see Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia having a verbal spat on the outside before the Death Riders leave through the crowd. Daniel Garcia makes his way up the ramp, telling the camera to get out of his way as we cut to commercial break. We're back from commercial break. Wheeler Yuta still has plenty left to say. He talks about living in this city and how he used to wrestle and break his bones in this city for what? For the chance they keep giving him. He talks about how the fans have done nothing for the likes of Will Ospreay, Chuck Taylor, and Bryan Danielson, but he is interrupted by the hook signal up on the wall before the last ever FTW champion makes his way out to the ring. When Hook came out, the crowd erupted. They were just cheering. The two men go at it until Hook catches Wheeler Yuta in the red room to make him pass out. He then heads up the entrance as the crowd chants his name. We get a post Forbidden Door interview by MJF, who addresses losing to Hangman Adam Page and dealing with Mark Briscoe. He also talks about Tony Khan telling him he can no longer cash in his rightful title shot whenever he so chooses, promising that when he signs that dot line, it won't be for the AEW World Championship. It will be for Page Soul. Alright. Back at ringside, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford make their entrance for our next match. Out next are Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander, and this match gets underway. Alright, so we get the next match. So we get Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander. This was a fun tag team match. We start with Chris Statlander and Penelope Ford going at it, and with Chris Statlander managing to get the upper hand before tagging in Harley Cameron. A bit of double teaming followed by a tag, and Chris Statlander gets a 2 count. She lands a delayed vertical suplex on Penelope Ford, who crawls over for a tag to Megan Bayne. We get a brief stare down between Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander, but Harley Cameron tags in as she wants to make the Megas feel the wrath. Megan Bayne shoves her away, but gets sent to the corner as Harley Cameron managed to get a few stomps on Megan Bayne. She sends Megan Bayne to the opposite side, but gets caught in a waist lock by Megan Bayne, who drags Harley Cameron to the corner before tagging in Penelope Ford. Harley Cameron stays on the attack until Megan Bayne manages to sneak in a shot, keeping Harley Cameron down long enough for Penelope Ford to fight back as we go to commercial break on HBO Max. Back from commercial break, Harley Cameron is kept from a tag by Penelope Ford before Harley Cameron managed to break away. Tag made to Chris Statlander now runs down Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne before hitting a fisherman's driver for a near fall. Penelope Ford gets an assist from Megan Bayne off the tag, landing a cutter before Megan Bayne hits a big lariat for a 2 count. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford set up Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander for a double moonsault, but to no avail. Chris Statlander holds Megan Bayne up, and Harley Cameron gives the assist for Chris Statlander, sending Megan Bayne down hard for a cover, but Penelope Ford breaks it up. Things break down from here until all 4 women are down. Eventually, Penelope Ford and Harley Cameron leave the ring as Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne exchange strikes. Penelope Ford gets the tag, but is worn down by Chris Statlander, who sets up what appears to be a perfect armbar, and Penelope Ford has no choice but to tap out after getting trapped on the mat. The winner by submission, Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander. This was a fun tag team match for what it was. Megan Bayne looks to go after Chris Statlander post-match, but Willow Nightingale makes her way out to put the kibosh on this as she ends up staring down her former friend and Chris Statlander before we head to a commercial break. We're back at ringside, a whole setup within the ring with 9 belts on the table and the balloons in the corner as 9 belts Monet is ready to have to celebrate after retaining the TBS Championship at Forbidden Door. Mercedes Monet tells Philly to say hello to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 belts Monet. Renee Paquette talks about the busy and successful week the champ had, culminating in retaining the TBS Championship at Forbidden Door. Now, it would be cool that Toni Storm and Mercedes Monet both pick the stipulations. If Toni Storm beats Mercedes Monet has to drop every title. And if Mercedes Monet beats Toni Storm, she would have had like 10 belts. And that's all I gotta say. That'd be a good idea. Alright, let me get to you. Mercedes Monet hypes herself up as the greatest of all time, invoking the name of Ultimo Dragon and looking to smash his record of holding 10 belts at once. Renee Paquette talks about Alex Windsor seemingly tapping Mercedes Monet out. Seemingly, the champ denies as she was not actually tapping. Mercedes Monet is tired of hearing about Alex Windsor, saying if she wants to come after her, she will send her to the hospital bed next to her husband. With that, she calls for the celebration to commence as she dances to her music. Alright, that was a decent segment, but Mercedes Monet is very good in the ring. She got like 9 belts. She got like 9 championship belts. if Mercedes Moné beats Tony Storm, she would have 10 belts. But everybody's so sick and tired of Mercedes Moné winning. You know what I'm saying? Mercedes Moné need to lose sometimes, but it is what it is. But Mercedes Moné is still the GOAT. And that's all I got to say. But I would love to see Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné both pick stipulations. If Tony Storm beats Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Moné has to drop all the titles. But if Mercedes Moné beats Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné beats Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné will have 10 belts, and that's all I gotta say. I'm just putting it out there. But anyway, let me continue what I was saying. We hear from Mark Briscoe, who is back home, including us to the newest member of the crew, a newborn, before addressing what MJF has been doing as of late. He turns his attention to someone else who had his name in their mouth, and Kyle Fletcher. Mark Briscoe challenged Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship, and since they are going to be in Philly, let's do it right here in Philly. He ends by asking Kyle Fletcher if he's going to man up. We head back to ringside where Don Callis includes three of the men representing his family competing tonight before Justin introduced Kazuchika Okada. They head to the ring before Jespi makes their way out. They are accompanied by Bandito, and as they head to the ring to get this all-star 8-man tag match underway. So we get an all-star 8-man tag match. Bandito, Brody King, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight versus Don Callis, Riley Hikaru, Josh Alexander, Kazuchika Okada, and Konosuke Takeshita. And this 8-man tag team match right here, I ain't even gonna lie. This was a decent tag team match for what it was. We start off with what appears to be Bandito and Takeshita before Hex and Zero tags in to catch the Ring of Honor World Champion by surprise ahead of their match at Death Before Dishonor. Hex and Zero sends Bandito to the corner for a fury of punches before dragging him to the family corner for a tag to Takeshita. After a few shots, we see Josh Alexander tag in before Brody King gets a tag of his own to take down the walking weapon and the Alpha. Tag made to Kevin Knight, and he and Mike Bailey goes after Josh Alexander after a tag to Speedball. Josh Alexander reach out for a tag with both Okada and Takeshita making the tag at the same time. They stare each other down for a moment, but that turns out to be a ruse as they look to clear the ring before Brody King does one better and sends them to the outside. He launches Bandito up and over the top at the same time as Jespi, and all three men land on the top of the Don Callis family on the outside as we go to commercial break on HBO Max. We're back from the break. The family has Kevin Knight in the corner before he managed to get the upper hand on Hex and Zero and Josh Alexander. Brody King comes in for some offense, followed by Mike Bailey, who takes a powerbomb by Takeshita before Kevin Knight comes in, only to be taken out. Bandito slides in, going for a vertical suplex on Takeshita before Hex and Zero makes the save. Tag made to Bailey, Mike Bailey, and Takeshita now, and the two go at it before Mike Bailey blocks a sunset flip for a backflip. Knee drop on the Alpha, covered by Speedball, but it's broken up. Okada offers an assist before Konosuke Takeshita gets a cover for a near fall, and it seems there is some animosity between Okada and Takeshita as it comes to a shoving match contest from Okada before Brody King puts Takeshita out of the ring. Chaos ensues, leading to Bailey dodging a haymaker to send Okada out of the ring. He goes up top, but Josh Alexander dodges the shooting star knee drop, rolling him out as the family block in attempt to break up the pin and the win for their team. The winner by pinfall, the Don Callis family, Hex and Zero, Josh Alexander, and Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. And this tag team match, this was a decent tag team match. Up next, we hear from Hangman Adam Page after his big win at AEW Forbidden Door. So we go to commercial break. We head back to ringside as Hangman Adam Page comes out to a big pop from the Philly crowd. He has a mic in hand, and his first order of business is thanking Will Ospreay for everything he's done and hoping that Will Ospreay feels better. He tries not to make a habit of speaking for others, but he will make an exception to say we all hope Will Ospreay comes back soon. And when he does, he hopes Will Ospreay will challenge Hangman Page for the world title. So I hope Will Ospreay will get well soon. So my thoughts and prayers goes out to Will Ospreay. I hope Will Ospreay will make a good speedy recovery, and that's all I gotta say. But let me continue. Page turns Hangman Adam Page turns his attention to MJF, who tried everything he could take the title away from him at Forbidden Door, and he failed. He addresses the fact MJF has to give 7 days notice, promising that he will beat MJF down before ink dries on the contract. Hangman Page is interrupted by Don Callis, who says the only reason Page ever got the title the first time was because a weakling in his family. Kenny Omega was the one defending it against him. He says he wants the title back in the Don Callis family, and there's a whole locker room ready to challenge. He knows because he signs half of them. He calls out for his family to come to ringside, surrounding the champ on the outside. Hangman Adam Page gets the drop on one of them to fight back. They bring Hangman Page into the ring, but out comes Just Be for an assist. Don Callis' hands they still baton to get the beat down on Mike Bailey as the rest, but Kenny Omega music hits to a big pop as he comes running down, blowing past Hex and Zero on his way to the ring. Lance Archer goes for a chokeslam but gets hit with a baton before Kenny Omega takes him to a knee. Mike Bailey helps clear the ring as we get a combo buckshot lariat and V trigger sending Lance Archer to the mat. He rolls out of the ring as a former tag champions. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega embrace, joined by Just B as the Don Callis family regroups on the outside. We get a promo from Tony Storm and Mina Sharakwa. Hold on, I hope I'm saying this right. We get a promo from Tony Storm and Mina Sharakwa. So I hope I'm saying this right. Mina Sharakwa. The latter showing how well her hand is by slapping the timeless one in the face. Tony Storm is thrilled that she's back as we cut between the pair and Athena promising to send Mina off the top of the 2300 arena at before Dishonor when the Ring of Honor Women's Championship is on the line. Alright. Back at ringside, Ricochet and GOA makes their way for our World Trios Championship match. The Outs make their entrance next. The champ head into the ring fairly quickly to get this match on the way. So we get the AEW World Trios Championship match. The Ops, Samoa Joe, Kazuchika Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs defending against Ricochet, Bishop, Khan, and Toa Luna. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie, man. This was a solid tag team match. What it was. We start off with Hobbs and Ricochet, with the Powerhouse making good on his bunker by laying into Ricochet. Blind tag by Bishop. Kong means a cover by Hobbs is no good, and Kong goes on the attack until Powerhouse catches him with a shoulder tackle. Tag made to Kazuchika Shibata, who lands a fury of strikes. Kong fights back, leading to an exchange of chops between both men. Kazuchika Shibata takes control to send Bishop to the corner for some more damage, leading to a drop kick and an underhook for a 2 count. Kazuchika Shibata hits the ropes, but takes a couple boots from from Khan before Ricochet gets involved. A big hit by Khan brings the wrestler to the outside, where Ricochet and the GOA get some more licks in as we go to commercial break on HBO Max. Back from commercial break, we're back on Kajiro Shibata and Khan as the wrestler takes Bishop down with the STO tag made to Powerhouse House and Toro Luna as we get meat chant as the host fights comes comments. Toa sends Powerhouse to the corner for some strikes, telling the crowd to shut up before charging at Powerhouse House, who turns it around with some strikes of his own. He sends Toa Loa to the back to the ropes and lays him out with a clothesline. Tag made to Samoa Joe and chaos ensues until GOA against Obanagi gets sent out of the ring, while Samoa Joe locks in the coquina clutch on Ricochet, who ends up tapping out. So the winner by submission and still your AEW World Tour Champion, the Ops. GOA helps Ricochet to his feet, but the Hurt Syndicate music hits his GOA helps Ricochet to his feet, but the Hurt Syndicate music hits. They drop him back to the mat so they can go on the attack. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley go at it with GOA, fighting back through the entrance, leaving Ricochet in the ring as we go to commercial break. So Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley had to get back on GOA because GOA cost them the championship at Forbidden Door. So Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin got their get back on GOA, and that's all I gotta say. So we go to commercial break, and their feud is far from over. There has been enough talk. It's time for our main event. Claudio Castagnoli is seen backstage making his entrance before Darby Allin charged at him to get this match on the way. So we get a Falls Count Anywhere match. So we get the main event of the evening. Falls Count Anywhere match. Claudio Castagnoli versus Darby Allin. This was a good match right here. The fight gets turned around, and when Darby Allin is shoved into the shopping cart that Claudio Castagnoli pushed away for some further damage, he drags Darby Allin into the general ringside area, landing a giant swing before crashing Darby Allin against the guardrail. He brings Darby Allin to the ring now, sending him back in only for Darby Allin to come diving on the top of Claudio Castagnoli. Darby Allin isn't finished, however, as he climbs a pole nearby to land a coffin drop, but it's only good for a 2 count. He continues the attack before this fight ends up in the ring for the first time. Darby Allin hits the ropes but gets laid out with a pop-up uppercut to pick up a near fall. He tells the announcers to clear out as he hosts Darby Allin up for a gorilla press slam, and sends Darby Allin flying onto the announcer table. With the commentary team clear away from their position, we're left with silence as Claudio Castagnoli continues the attack before we go to a commercial break on HBO Max. We're back from commercial break. Claudio Castagnoli continues beating down Darby Allin as we see a pair of tables have been propped up in opposite corners. He starts mocking Darby Allin, who looks for a guillotine choke on Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli rises to his feet, managing to lift Darby Allin up before Darby Allin counters with a sleeper hold while on the back of Claudio Castagnoli, who drives Darby Allin to the mat over his shoulders. Darby Allin backs on his feet as Claudio Castagnoli charged at him, but Darby Allin sidesteps and sees Claudio Castagnoli get run through one of the tables in the corner. Darby Allin has a chair as he starts swinging away on Claudio Castagnoli, wrapping it around his neck before going up top with a bad intention, but Claudio Castagnoli intercepts him. There's a stack of chairs in the middle of the ring as Claudio Castagnoli lands a gut wrench suplex, sending him onto the chairs from the turnbuckles, but only gets a 2 count. He brings Darby Allin up to his feet and launches him through the other table, but it doesn't break. Darby Allin is the table, but not for long, as he gets power bomb to break the table. Claudio Cascanoli with the cover, but that only gets a 2 count as well. He sends Darby Allin to the turnbuckle, but Darby Allin counters with a springboard double stomp, staying on the attack for a near fall. He catches a rising Claudio Cascanoli with a cold red, but this only gets a near fall. What finally does the trick is not one but 2 coffin drops, as Darby Allin gets the win in our main event of the evening. So Darby Allin did 2 coffin drops on Claudio Castagnoli from the top rope, and the winner of the match, Darby Allin. This was a good main event match. What it was hardcore. It was fun. It was good. It was physical. It was chaotic at the same time. No time for celebration as Gabe Kidd comes running in to start a beatdown on Darby Allin. John Moxley comes in looking for some shots as well, but Darby Allin fights back to make an escape. Gabe Kidd goes chasing after him as Darby Allin music hits, with the Death Riders looking and scenes that he got away as AEW Dynamite comes to a close. But let me read the quick results right quick before I give my honest opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. John Moxley defeated Daniel Garcia, which that match was good. Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander defeated Megan Bay and Penelope Ford. That was a fun tag team match. All-Star 8-man tag match. The Don Callis family, Hexton Cyril, Johnson Alexander, Kazuchika Okada, and Konosuke Takeshita defeated Bandito, Brody King, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. And this All-Star 8-man tag match. This was decent tag team match. Decent 8-man tag team match for what it was. So we get the AEW World Trios Championship. The Ops defeated Samoa Joe, Kazuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Luna, and that was a decent match. What it was. Then the main event of the evening, Fox County area match. Darby Allin defeated Claudio Castagnoli, and AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Alright, let me get my opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. So, if you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review and highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel. And go check out my WWE NXT review and highlights. And also go check out my WWE Raw review and highlights. And also go check out my AEW Forbidden Door review and highlights as well. But anyway, let me get my opinion what I think about AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite was a good show for what was a very good show for what it was. And that's all I gotta say. And I give that show a 7 out of 10. But anyway, I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. KFG crew, KFG Kings, KFG Club. Too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will be at Showstopper TV's live stream on Twitch. Because he's doing a 12-hour live stream on Twitch. And I'm going to be there to support Showstopper TV on his live stream on Twitch. He's playing Kingdom. He's playing some Kingdom on Twitch tomorrow, so I cannot wait to be there. And shout out to Showstopper TV, Serene. Yeah, shout out to Serene for that. I hung out with Serene live on Twitch last night. Serene has an amazing community, and that's all I gotta say. W Serene, W Showstopper TV, and shout out to Tifa Chu, by the way. I was just at her stream the other day. She was playing marbles with her community. So W Tifa Chu, W Serene, W Showstopper TV, and W his community as well too. And that's all I gotta say, man. And yeah, man, I had lots of fun. Man. And yeah, doing this review with you guys, man, because I want to get my honest thoughts and my own opinions, man. Everybody has a right to title their own opinion. Doesn't matter if I like it or not. I still gotta respect each other's opinion from this, whether I like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the right to title their own opinion. That's like me saying everybody has a voice to be heard. You know what I'm saying, man? We all love each other. I love you guys equally from the bottom of my heart. No matter where you're from, no matter what skin tone you are, I love everybody equally from the bottom of my heart. And make sure you guys run my videos for watch time hours. That way I can get more watch time hours. That way I can become YouTube partner, man. Let's make this happen. Because I've been begging for that YouTube partner for a long time. But first, you guys got to continue to watch my videos for watch time hours. Watch every single one of my videos for watch time hours. That way I can get there. All right, enough of me. I'm about to edit my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. Then I'm gonna premiere it. Then I'm gonna have a world premiere of my AEW Dynamite review on highlights at 4 o'clock a.m. right here on my YouTube channel. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here, gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet, gang.